do you want me to do? Punch out?
Apologies for the slight technical issues here. We are back in play with the punter Howard McCoy getting it away for Jacksonville. Florida receives it and down right there at the 29-yard line. And still a 1-point deficit here for the Storm. And they haven't seen a lot after the opening salvo from the Optimus Klein. He's the big receiver for Florida.
Yeah, both of these defenses have clamped down. Michael Sprouse came to play with some tight coverage on Optimus so far today.
I formation for the Storm here. They're going to throw. Plenty of protection for Cochran. He wails it down the field, and it's picked out of the sky by Jacksonville. And running it back the other way is Michael Sprouse. He finally got the interception he probably rightfully deserves. That is another takeaway for the Kings.
You know what? Today on this game, Florida just called a play I don't think I've ever seen them call before. Pardon me if I'm wrong, but they ran out and up there with Optimus Klein. Michael Sprouse was not fooled. He remained disciplined, stayed home, read his keys, trailed the receiver, and picked off that pass. He couldn't have played any better than that. That was impressive. Michael Sprouse just came to play today, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, and I said that Cochran had plenty of time in the pocket. He really didn't. Hunter Norwood came in like a truck and hit him as he threw the ball. And that's why it was wobbling in the air like that and was so easy for Sprouse to pick it off. Jacksonville back in the driver's seat. Short pass complete. And that is Hunter Jones picking up 5 yards on first down. The Florida 27. And man, the tables have turned here in the second quarter. Because in the first quarter, it was, Florida picking off Jacksonville and converting it into 6 points. And now it's Jacksonville picking off Florida. They've converted it into 7 so far. Here's Christensen to the far side. Willis looking for the first down marker. He won't get there, short by a yard.
3rd and 1, but it's 3rd and manageable. Their defense is keeping them in this game. And with this good field position, they have to find a way to punch this in, keep this drive going, and get a touchdown.
I'd like to see a Willis run here. We've only seen one so far, and it did get them 4 yards. He stands alongside Christensen, who's in the gun on 3rd and short. Just under 5 minutes to play here in the first half. Christensen will fire towards the end zone, knocked away, aiming for Gossett. He was in double coverage.
Yeah, I don't like that play call there. Putting your quarterback there in shotgun is trying to pretty much telling the defense you're going to be passing the ball on this play, and the linebackers are just dropping back in coverage. You're going to go for it here there, Curtis.
They're set up to go for it. Maybe they're just trying to draw the defensive line offside for Florida with 10 to play. I don't think they'll snap it. The veteran defensive line for the Storm holds firm, and the first timeout taken by Jacksonville. And Richard Douglas will try a field goal to put the Jacksonville Kings up by 4.
Yeah, you got a veteran defensive end with Alex. You got a first-round draft pick in Alessandro. They've been pretty much trained up pretty well throughout this offseason here and leading in training camp. They know those fake 4th down attempts to draw the defense offside was possibly coming there.
Alessandro Tomaello is the rookie first-round draft pick by the Storm. Picked 15 overall. Haven't called his name much tonight.
He had a sack last week.
Kick all the way, and good from 39 yards. Douglas gives the Kings a 4-point lead. 4 minutes and 2 seconds to go here in the first half. And the crowd here at the Eye hushed a bit here.
Yeah, it's kind of a bit silent here these past couple drives here for Florida. They're trying to keep the faith because they know what this team is capable of. This game is far from over. It's a 1-score lead here, but like I said, a lot of time to go, so we'll see what happens.
Douglas kicks the ball away. And out to the 20, 25, looking for a lane. Not going to find one is Robert Merrill, and he'll be down to the 28-yard line.
Florida has to try to find a way to right this ship and get their offense at least some time on the field here and get their defense a break. They've been out there on the field here quite a bit here lately.
Ever since the clock has ticked over to the second quarter, it's been all one-way traffic going Jacksonville's way. Here's Cochran, spins away from pressure excellently and gets the ball out to the far side to Weston. That's some veteran quarterbacking back there in the backfield.
You took the words right out of my mouth. A lot of quarterbacks would have panicked under pressure and either thrown that ball away or made an errant pass there. But he was able to remain calm, find this outlet receiver, and get a nice little 3-yard gain out of that play in what could have been a sack.
We see some people in the chat saying that was a holding. That's the chat at FTF Next on Twitch. Cochran again, plenty of time, and it's just dropped over the middle by Klein, of all receivers who you would expect to pull that down.
I was just talking about this guy being inducted into the Hall of Fame, and he rewards me with a drop pass there.
But that's twitch.tv/FTF Next if you want to get in and talk to players, coaches, owners, everybody involved in the Simulation Football League. Head on over to twitch.tv/FTF Next. Cochran launching it deep. It's caught this time. Barely over the fingertips of Sprouse and into the hands of Klein as we're into Jacksonville territory now at the 44.
Klein is 6'4", 225. And that press coverage, he just threw the ball to his highest point, jumped and caught it, and wow. That's the first time he's made Sprouse look like he did there because he's been playing great all day up until that point.
Credit to Anthony Wyo, the free safety for Jacksonville. He noticed that Sprouse was in trouble and shaded to that side. He could have had a touchdown-saving tackle in that play. Cochran, pressure, throws incomplete into tight coverage, aiming for E.J. Minson as Wyo knocked it away.
Once again, Ron Cochran was under heavy pressure there to get that ball out.
Just under 3 minutes to go here in the first half. 4-point deficit for the Florida Storm, playing their first game ever here in Fort Lauderdale, Florida at the I, after spending the past 6 seasons in Alaska. Over the middle, caught and taken away from the arms of the referee, it looked like, as Optimus Clyde. I mistook the referee for a Jacksonville linebacker. Maybe it's because the Kings are in all white. I thought, oh man, that's going to be intercepted, but no. Klein took it out of the air and gets another first down.
This time, Jacksonville lines up in press coverage. Florida combats it with a tight bunch, which is kind of confusing on the defense there. First down, Florida.
From the 30-yard line, Cochran fires short, dropped by Galliano. I preemptively said caught because it was wide open.
Wide open. It looks like he tried to take off there before he actually had the ball in his hands. There was so much green grass in front of him. He was thinking how he's going to make the next man miss instead of keeping his eyes on the prize.
Galliano says, I haven't been this wide open since high school. Give me that ball. And his mind was in the end zone. The ball was even in his hands. Second down and 10 from the 30. Here comes the 4-man rush, and they're going to run straight through it. Excellent play design there. And Doyle, who's only had his 3rd rush of the game, falls forward for 7, brings up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, I think they caught Jacksonville napping that time. I mean, neither of these teams have ran the ball too often today.
We have hit the 2-minute warning here from South Florida. It's a 4-point lead for the Kings, but the Storm are driving to try and get the lead back. We'll be back after the break. This is the SFL on FTF and For the Fans. Over the middle, caught inside the red zone territory. Grabbed by Merrill, Michael Turillo, and Eddie Gage on commentary duty for you on this fabulous Tuesday evening. Thank you all for joining us as you do all season long in supporting the Simulation Football League. Under 2 minutes now. Under 1:40 the clock runs. 1st and 10 from the 14-yard line. Cochran, far side, caught. And Galliano has a lane to the end zone. Cannot escape the clutches of the defender. And it looked like that was Alex Bond there on the tackle.
3 receivers line up to the right side of the field, and they pretty much what you call flooded the zone there and made it hard defense there. Puts a lot of pressure on that quarterback, on the cornerback on that side.
Gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Fullback dive. Doyle didn't get there. Somehow couldn't fall forward to get the 1 yard they needed. And Otis Givens will be credited with that tackle, but Hunter Norwood was there as well as Tyquan Hale. Line up in the same formation. Give it to Doyle, and Doyle tried to bounce it outside, and he's swallowed up by a blizzard of Jacksonville defenders, and it's going to be another 4th down in the red zone for the Storm, their 3rd of the night.
Credit the weak side linebacker on that play along with the Mike side linebacker. They made that play happen by flushing that ball out wide and giving him no running lane to get upfield where he wanted to go. Stretched him out wide and waited for his help to get there to make the tackle. Nice play.
That's Chad Guy and J.R. Lawless, the linebackers, who combined for the tackle. Here's Ethan Sneed, already 2 for 2, trying to go 3 for 3, and it is good from 23 yards. They keep getting closer, but the result is the same. Field goal for the Storm. They're down by 1, 10-9.
You just wonder what could have been, because prior to this drive, Jacksonville played a lot of zone coverage, but they went exclusively to man until they got down in the red zone and decided to go back to zone and force that field goal attempt there. But all 3 big plays by Florida there came when Jacksonville was in man coverage.
Jones to the 10-yard line, barrels his way to the 30. 33 seconds to go first half, and you got to feel that this will be the last possession of the opening half of football. Let's see if Jacksonville, with 2 timeouts, decides to try and drive down, maybe at least get in field goal range to extend the lead, or maybe just runs it out.
That could be dangerous with this defensive line here of Florida.
Christensen back to pass, will float it to the far side to Willis. He'll stay in bounds and pick up 4 yards, and they don't have to snap it again if Jacksonville just wants to take this 1-yard lead into the locker room.
Yeah, I mean, I may have came with an up-tempo offense here just to see what happens, as long as he remains safe and didn't make any unwise decisions here. But like you said, they're trying to let this clock run out.
Yep, they're going to run it up the middle. 0's on the clock, and we will head to the break. Your score after 2 quarters of play, the Jacksonville Kings 10, the Florida Storm 9, here from the Eye in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Let's take a look at some first half stats and highlights of the Simulation Football League. And Eddie, it's going to be tough to sum up this half as you see some of the stats, and particularly the time of possession here. But try and sum up this first half for me.
The defensive line for both teams came to play today. The secondary for Jacksonville is keeping them in this game. They've given their offense short fields to work with that allowed them to capitalize on the 1 touchdown they scored, as well as a field goal attempt that gave them this lead here. They started the game rather slow on offense, but the defense kept them in the game, like I said, and allowed them to get this lead here. Florida, on the other hand, they haven't really done too much on offense since I believe it was somewhere in the middle of the second quarter. Their offense just kind of just died and allowed Jacksonville to pretty much almost break things even here in terms of time of possession. They only trail about 2 minutes, which is unusual for any Florida opponents. They tend to dominate that stat. So it's a close ball game. I'd like to see Jacksonville come out and remain in that zone coverage unless they get down the red zone. But that kind of got Florida back into the scoring on that last drive because they went strictly man there. So if Florida sees this man coverage, they have opportunity to put up points. But I think if Jacksonville remains in a zone, they have a chance to walk away with the win here tonight and send this crowd home unhappy.
And what would you say to both teams at halftime, I mean, being a coach yourself with the Arizona Scorpions, to try and change their fortunes going into the second half?
Well, first of all, I'd like to see that both teams get the running game more involved and take some of the pressure off these quarterbacks. They're both facing a formidable defensive line here, and take some of the pressure off. Even if you don't gain significant yardage, you got to keep that defense guessing. If those defensive linemen are just allowed to peel their ears back, knowing the quarterback's going to pass on every down, it could be bad news for the quarterback. So take some of the pressure off of them, give them something else to think about, and get their running game going.
Yeah, and I think it was a tale of two quarters, really.
Yes.
The first quarter dominated by Alaska, but again, the red zone offense for Alaska, or Florida rather, has kind of let them down today.
Yes.
As they've gotten 3 field goals out of 3 trips to the sharp end of the field as we're about to kick off the second half here. The Storm will receive the football down by 1 as Robert Merrill is back deep to return the Richard Douglas kick. Kick on the way and taken by Merrill at 10-yard line to the 20, bounce right outside to the 25 to the 28. And that is what the Storm will start this second half of football. I'm your play-by-play commentator, Michael Trillo, joined in the booth by Eddie Gage, as we're going to guide you through this second half of this SFL encounter, week 2, between the two franchises based in the state of Florida. Ron Cochran flanked by 2 backs behind him. He's going to take a 2-step drop, fire down the middle. It's a one-handed catch to midfield with Optimus Klein on the reception.
That skinny post, once again, I talked about it earlier, it's a hard play to defend. You got to remain your gap discipline and rely on that safety to get over the top to help you out there. At the snap of the ball, it looks like quarters coverage, but then Wayo flames over to the middle of the field in a cover 3 look, left that corner out there on an island, and he just used his big frame to come down with that reception.
And that's been most of Optimus Klein's career, 7 seasons in the SFL. He's been matched up one-on-one with quarter number 1 for the opposing team as Doyle takes it up the middle, gets back to the line of scrimmage and nothing more. And Klein has made defenses pay throughout his entire career.
As I said, he should be nominated into the Hall here pretty soon. 3 championship rings.
3-man front for the Kings. They'll bring an extra linebacker as pressure, but Cochran gets the pass away. It's tipped up into the air and incomplete. Both Wayo and Sprouse were in coverage.
Man, were they ever. They went to the fade once again. Sprouse came out in a cover 3 look. I believe there was cover 3 strong, if I'm not mistaken. No, excuse me, cover 3 weak. And he kept his gap discipline there and almost came away with the reception.
It was off of both of their shoulders in succession. Tipped by Sprouse, then bounced off Sprouse's shoulder, then off of Wayo's shoulder and into the turf.
I had Wayo in Houston last season, and he's a great cover safety, but he didn't come away with too many interceptions.
4 receivers to aim at on 3rd and 10 for the Storm. Here is Ron Cochran, middle into double coverage, and dropped by Chad Guy, his first season in the Jacksonville uniform after coming over, spending 3 seasons in San Francisco.
Chad Guy is an excellent run stopper, but he's not known for his hands.
He does force the punt here from Marcus Agrippa, who stands at his own 35-yard line. Back to receive Hunter Jones. Away from the 37. This is a long, deep, booming kick. It's going to bounce to the 5. It's going to pop straight up into the air. And be walked into the end zone for a touchback, as we will go to break and be right back. Jacksonville on the ball next. You're watching the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and For the Fans. Stay with us.
Right. 1st and 10 from the King coming over.
Christensen now on 1st and 10. Fires near side, caught by Gossett. He gets 3 yards. And the most infamous meeting between these two teams was the Season 11 champion game back in 2018, with Alaska defeating Tallahassee, as both of these teams are known as back then, 22-17. And that was the game, really, that cemented Alaska in the common SFL mindset, if you could, because that was the game that they basically won with defense and nothing else.
I remember that game well. Alex Dominguez was a monster.
Third down and 3. Handoff. Willis almost broke a tackle, but strong arms to drag him down from Ryan Davidson. And it'll bring up a 4th and 1. So 2 3 and outs rather, one by each team to open up this second half.
Yeah, this continues to be a defensive struggle here. It all could come down to if Jacksonville can find out a way to make this a 2-score lead here.
Merrill up to the 37-yard line. Florida jumped out to a lead early in this ball game by scoring 2 field goals from close by Ethan Sneed. Then a deep interception in their own territory basically handed a one-play touchdown drive to Jacksonville.
Yep.
Then the Kings responded with a field goal of their own, putting them up 10-6. The Storm with a late field goal in the first half, and that's been your scoring. So another handoff to J.W. Doyle goes for 2 yards. Lawless on the tackle.
The defensive tackle got great pressure back there. He basically pushed the center about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That play didn't have a chance.
Cochran throws far side off of the hands of the receiver. That's J.W. Doyle, the fullback, and we've seen him pick up those passes left, right, and center. We've seen him catch about 3 or 4 of those tonight. Just dropped that one.
Yeah, he did. He started off slow last season, too. I believe game back, he actually dropped the first pass and had a fumble, but after that kind of settled down and had a great season. Not a good look there for him, though.
Another 3rd down and long here. Maybe 3 straight 3-and-outs to start the second half. And it's almost intercepted. It was thrown right into the teeth of the safety core for Jacksonville. It was knocked away by Alex Bond, who already has 2 interceptions on the night, looking for his 3rd. It's another 3-and-out for the Storm.
That's the second play in a row where he had a chance at a pick. This one bounces off his hands. The other one, was benefited by a tip ball that if he was just paying attention a bit, could have had that one too.
Agrippa standing back near his 25-yard line, puts this one away. It might be decent field position here for Jacksonville, but it is a booming punt all the way out of the 15-yard line, and only up to the 19 goes the return man, Trevor Swain.
That ball
that
was
is where
snapped
Jacksonville
at the
started.
40-yard line and received at the 15 for Jacksonville. Oh my goodness.
Marcus Agrippa, man, he got a big contract this offseason to punt for the Storm, and you can see why. He just pins Jacksonville deep every time he's on the field. Now Christensen, short crossing pattern to the far side. Gossett picks up 5.
If Jacksonville can keep this game close, and it looks like they will, they should be doing this all the way downfield. Run the ball in a short passing game. Keep the ball out of harm's way, and find a way to come out of here with a close win here today.
If you've got the football, your opponent can't score. Want to hold on to this 1-point lead and try and extend it. Here's a short pass out to Willis, and he is laid out in the open field in one-on-one coverage by Evan Carroll.
Didn't get a chance to get his feet settled. As soon as that ball came down, the defender was right in his lap. Never had a chance to make a play.
Third down and 4. Will we see a third down conversion here to the far side? Yes, we will. Grayson Willis picks up the first move of the chains for either team here in the second half. It took almost halfway through this third quarter to get there, but we do have a fresh set of downs.
4 minutes into the third quarter, and it's our first down by either team.
I mean, you said it yourself multiple times tonight. The defenses came to play, and they came to play better out of the halftime break, it seems. 1st and 10 for Jacksonville for their own 31-yard line, and all white with purple and gold highlights tonight. Christensen rockets it down the field and in and out of the hands of Gossett, covered closely on the play by Ryan Tobin.
Florida came out in a 3-4 look, showed blitz, but stayed home, and didn't leave a good window for either receiver out there. No one looked open.
I mean, and I can understand why Jacksonville keeps testing the defense deep. All it takes is one pass for Gossett to get behind the defense, and this game is blown wide open.
He's their home run hitter.
On 2nd and 10, Christensen will look over the middle again, and he way overthrew, and it's straight into the hands of the safety. Interception for Evan Carroll, and it's a 3rd pick for the Storm tonight.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. This time, Florida came out in a nickel look, and he had all day to throw. And for whatever reason, I'm not sure if he got happy feet just thinking about the plays from earlier in this game in which he was under duress. But on this drive, he had all day to throw, and threw an ill-advised pass there, rushed it a bit, and interception going the other way. That's unfortunate.
It was a good route run by Gossett as well. He created some separation, and it's just the ball sailed over his head, and now pressure from the other side, and it's almost picked straight back, as showing the hops on the defensive side of the ball was Bernard Gooden. Taquan Hale was applying the pressure that side for Jacksonville, 2nd and 10.
My physics teacher once told me that pressure breaks pipes, and once again, Ron Cochran was under duress. He got hit as he threw. A duck came flailing out of there, and that ball should have been intercepted.
Second and 10, Cochran at the 48-yard line. Fires down the field. It's caught by Klein. Sprouse tried to go for the interception. It sailed over his hands, and Optimus Klein picks up a 1st down.
Yeah, he made a bad read on that play because I'm not sure what he thought he saw, but he was there, but for whatever reason decided to jump forward instead of backward. And that should have been at least batted down, but instead it was going the other way. He got bailed out by Wayo there on the tackle. Otherwise, that's a touchdown.
Correction, that was E.J. Minson, the rookie tight end, instead of Optimus Klein there on that far side. Here's a pass out. That is complete to Klein for 6 yards. And we've been talking and hyping up the defensive line for the Storm all night, but the D-line for the Kings is nothing to shake a stick at as well, but they're highlighted by their defensive tackle, Hunter Norwood, a 5-season veteran, right in the center of that D-line.
I actually met Hunter Norwood just this past week. I went out with him and his girlfriend for dinner, and we had some fajitas, and he's quite a tall gentleman.
Handoff up the middle. Doyle gets 1. 3rd down and 5 upcoming.
Cameron Irvine actually got upset with me the last time I met Hunter Norwood, but we went out for dinner that night too, and I did not get a photo with him, and so he kind of gave me a hard time about that, so I made sure I got a photo this time.
3rd down and 5. Another handoff, trying to draw the defense into making a mistake, but they stay home, force the 4th down, and again, the Storm drive down to the sharp end of the field and can't convert. It's going to be Snead on again to try a field goal.
Perhaps, and I don't want to say it's the case, but perhaps Max Paul does not trust Ron Cochran to make a sound decision there, and just wanted to settle for 3 and get the lead here.
Well, it's not an easy kick either. It's going to be 45. Snead, this would be his longest of the night. It's in the air, and it's good with yardage to spare as the Storm take the lead 12-10 on 4 field goals by Ethan Snead tonight. He's been the player of the game so far for Florida.
Could he be the player of the game should this score not change from here on out? Could
He
be
very well
the player of
could.
the game.
We'll be back after the break. This is the Simulation Football League on 11 Sports and for the fan. Back at the Eye in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, where the hometown Storm have finally taken the back against the Jacksonville Kings 12-10 in a low-scoring defensive slugfest here under the warm South Florida January evening. Kick returned by Hunter Jones up to the 28-yard line.
I visited Florida on my honeymoon as well as a couple other times with my wife late in the year, and that humidity can be unforgiving.
I mean, I live here, so I guess I'm used to it. But yeah, the humidity can be a bit trifling. I'll take Florida in the winter over snow any time as Willis weaves through traffic and picks up 7. That's his best run of the night from under center, Willis. So maybe they should, a sign of things to come, rather, for Jacksonville.
You would hope so. He actually ran a cut back there. That was a design run there. That was nice.
Yeah, there's a number of SFLers that call the Sunshine State their home. 2nd down and 3. Christensen fires a long looping pass, diving catch, and it's hauled in by Gossett. Crazy leaping catch, and it's a 1st down for Jacksonville in Florida territory.
Jacksonville fans are telling themselves it's only a matter of time. But you just only wonder what could have been had he been able to catch that ball in stride. That would have been a foot race to the end zone. But they'll take it either way.
As I mentioned, this is the battle for the Sunshine State tonight between Florida, based out of Fort Lauderdale, and Jacksonville. We have a number of SFLers in the Sunshine State. Myself, I live here, and Andy Hamilton, owner of the Vancouver Legion, is a Floridian. And over the middle, Gossett, catch 11 yards and a 1st down to the 29. Max Paul, obviously based in South Florida, his team coming home from Alaska this offseason.
Hunter Norwood lives in Florida. He lives in Tampa. So does Chad Tackle. He lives in Tampa as well.
A couple of Central Floridians. We've got Cade Stevens and Eric Vincent. So go down to the Sunshine State, you'll find a lot of people that love the SFL. And Christensen going long. Oh, that was almost intercepted. He aired it out, aiming for Willis in the end zone. And pressure was in his face by the rookie Alessandro Tomaello.
Yeah, he actually hit the quarterback right as he threw it, which caused that errant throw.
Second and 10 from the Kings.
3 minutes and 1 second to go here in the third quarter. Florida barely hanging on to a 2-point advantage. 3 minutes to go. Christensen stands in, fires, caught over the middle, at inside the 15 to the 13. Grayson Willis, that time he comes up with the catch.
Yeah, he had a couple of receivers open on that play. He was over there playing eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I get Grayson involved. Once he cleared the zone, he was wide open. But that's what happens when you get protection. You're allowed to, if there's a zone, you're allowed to wait for it to clear and enter the next zone. But for all that to work, you need pass protection. They got him that play there.
Into the red zone for the second time tonight here for the Kings. Out to the near side, Willis. Knockdown gain of 1. That was Nicholas Warner, the linebacker, playing the edge.
Yeah, he put a shoulder into his shoulder and introduced him to the turf there.
8 solo tackles for Warner a week ago in their victory over defending SFL champion Denver. A 13-10 win in the Mile High City. On 2nd and 9, Christensen over the middle. Close to a first down, but he'll be short by half a yard to the 4-yard. Jack Wall picks up his first reception of the night for the tight end spot.
You know, I was eyeing that the whole way. He actually had him open up a second or two earlier. I don't know what he was waiting on to give it to him. If he throws that ball a second earlier, perhaps he's allowed to make a move and get that first down.
Maybe we'll see Willis here on a 3rd and 1, and maybe even less than 1. We will. Up the middle. Did he get the first down? He did. Down to the 1-yard line when they needed him in the clutch. He came through. And Florida with their backs against the wall here, trying not to go down by 4.
Yeah, they got to buckle down here and try to keep this one-score game here. They got the lead by 2, but you don't want to be forced to score a touchdown yourself.
This time it's Willis, and Willis can't get there. Stopped at the line of scrimmage, a bottleneck of blue jerseys. I think they're going to credit Andrew Francis with the tackle. 6-season veteran Frank Champion, the linebacker, was also in there.
Second down. Can this defense hold?
I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe a screen to Willis. That far side looks awfully lonely. But they are going to throw. Christensen, short route, end zone, touchdown. Grayson Willis put it on the board. Jacksonville retakes the lead.
Yeah, they caught the defense thinking run there. The linebackers came screaming up, and wide open is Willis for a touchdown.
I just mentioned Frank Champion. He just kind of missed his mark there as Willis blew right by him for the score.
Yeah, he actually had Jack Wall open there too.
16, extra point pending 17 to 12 our score now. As again, the Florida Storm find themselves behind and chasing this game as the kick is good. 32 seconds to go in the third quarter. It's the Florida Storm 12, the Jacksonville Kings 17.
You know, another key to this game too is the time of possession. I believe Jacksonville may be leading that department heavily at this point.
With that last drive, it does seem rather likely. Kickoff from Douglas. Merrill back to receive. And he gets out to the 28-yard line.
A defensive slugfest we got here.
Yeah, two of the teams really known for their offenses. And their passing attacks have been largely corralled tonight. We've seen a little bit of the Jacksonville passing attack come to life on that last drive. It's time to see if Florida can respond in kind, rather. Here is Klein over the middle, or Cochran over the middle. Complete to Galliano for 8.
Once again, they went back to man coverage, which is what generated Florida's last points.
2nd and 2 from your Storm, 36 yards.
Heavy set here by Florida.
Yeah, no receiver spread to the wide side. They're going to hand it off, and the play is blown up in the backfield for a loss of 3. Hunter Norwood. Yikes.
I'm not sure if there was a razor right or what, but he read that like a book. And yeah, it was actually. When you guess right on those plays, you can generate some negative yardage offense. When you guess wrong, you can pay.
In the chat, we are going to the 4th quarter. Kings lead by 4. Storm coming back after this. This is the SFL on 11 Sports and for the fans. Welcome back to the Eye of the Storm here in South Florida. The Florida Storm down by 4, trying to rally, but they're facing a 3rd and 5. Ron Cochran has to step up in the pocket, sidearms into the far side, and making a catch and getting a first down. Jose Galliano. What a play to move the chains.
I tell you what, Ron Cochran just showed his veteran leadership. He looked for Optimus Klein, who once again was covered like a blanket, remained calm despite the pressure in his face, found his outlet receiver and got the first down. That was great.
I formation on 1st and 10. Cochran moves in the pocket, has to scramble a bit more, flows back across his body, and Doyle, or rather that's Connor Weston, shoves off a tackler and gets 3 yards. Now, before we went to the break, we saw a massive hit on J.W. Doyle in the backfield by Hunter Norwood, and he's a 5-season veteran on that defensive line. He really leads this defense.
Yes, he does. He's a veteran. He's part of that massive D-line that Jacksonville has, and he makes his presence felt every game.
Here is Doyle, and he is tackled by Lawless on the play. No gain, 3rd down and 5.
Shout out to Lawless. The graphics he does for this league are outstanding.
And also, I got a shout out to Connor Weston, who just joined this Storm team this week and is getting a start at running back alongside Doyle. Here is Cochran. Again forced to move the pocket. Sidearm over the middle. It's incomplete. It was in the hands of Robert Merrill, but it looked like the hit from the safety jarred it loose as he went to the ground, 4th down.
And that's unfortunate, too, because once again, he was calm under pressure, eluded the rush, sidestepped a bit, and was able to get that pass off sidearm, only for it to get jarred loose by the defender there. 4th down.
And with 9 minutes and 25 seconds to go, I don't think you go for it here. No, punter Marcus Agrippa is on the field.
You drafted that guy for a reason. Pin him deep.
Trying to pin Jacksonville deep and hope they don't get a drive like they did to end the 3rd quarter, where they went from their own 28.
Oh, great punt.
Oh, that's a fantastic punt, and it stays out of the end zone. Fabulous. Gunners do their job this time, and it's going to be 1st down for Jacksonville for their own 4. And the Kings have to be careful here with the lack of a running game shown by both sides tonight. Could be safety territory.
It could be. I mean, we'll see what they come out here and do, but with the way these defensive lines been playing, you got to be careful right here. This could be the ball game.
They've only got 3 down linemen. That's Dominguez, Leon, and Tomaello. It is a handoff right up the middle. Untouched before he got 9 yards was Jared Willis. He took a shot for it and is slow to get up. Ryan Davidson came across and lowered his shoulder, but he does get them out of the shadow of their own end zone.
Yeah, they spread him out there and forced him to defend the entire field and just handed the ball off to the running back for a 9-yard gain.
Now on 2nd and short, let's see if they go back to Willis here. This time, the Storm stacked the box. Christensen going to throw short over the middle. That was almost intercepted by Frank Champion. And the receiver was draped all over by Warner.
He was wearing him like a blanket.
And I'm surprised that there are less pass interference calls in this league than maybe there should be, but I kind of like that. The referees let them play a little bit.
Let them play. It's a physical game.
Now 3rd and 1. Huge play, actually, here for Jackson. If the Storm going to stop here, they've got great field position. Christensen on a kind of a slow start. Fires it incomplete. Intended for Gossett, knocked away by Davidson. And just as we've mentioned that Michael Sprouse has been everywhere for the Jacksonville defense, Ryan Davidson has been doing the same for the Storm defense.
Yeah, he's played well when called upon. They haven't thrown it his way often. When he has, he's delivered. And when that ball was first thrown, I thought that was a pick 6.
And now, Howard McCoy is punting from 2 yards deep in his own end zone. The Storm don't try and come after it. They'll go for a protection. And the return is up near midfield out to the 48. So Merrill gives the Storm good field position in Florida. Going to try and claw back from a 4-point deficit down 17-12. Just over 8.5 minutes to play here in the ballgame. And it's been kind of a slow, lagging ballgame at times. Yes, we've had some scoring. 2 touchdowns from Jacksonville to highlight it, as it's a 1st and 10 for Florida. Cochran under center, 3-man rush. For to the far side, incomplete, intended for Galliano. But this game has had its moments, Eddie, but it's mostly been a kind of slow chess matchy kind of game.
It is. Both of these offensive coordinators have had to scratch a lot of the chunk plays out of the playbook here with the way their defensive lines have been playing tonight. So they're only working with probably about a third of what they would usually typically run.
2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Cochran fires, caught, and behind the defense is Stephen Bush. It's only his 2nd catch of the game. But that's a huge one up to the Jacksonville 30-yard line.
Yes, it is. Jacksonville came on a blitz, and wow, they weren't. Apparently, they didn't come up underneath there because he had all kinds of room to fit that ball in there.
Stephen Bush, up to this point tonight, had 2 receptions for 31 yards. That's 15 yards of reception, and I think the average just went up with that massive catch to put Alaska into Jacksonville territory. A delayed handoff to the fullback Doyle, and he will pick up a loss of 1. Norwood in there to make the tackle. And there's SFL royalty all over this matchup, Eddie, but I think the most important place to look are the quarterbacks. And we'll get to that after this second and 11 here. Cochran under center. Faked the handoff to Weston, handed it to Doyle, got back to the line of scrimmage. These two veterans, as you see their career stats right there, both over 21,000 passing yards, in the top 10 all time. Christensen, 6 seasons. Cochran also 6 seasons. I think they're both probably going to be Hall of Fame quality quarterbacks.
Ron Cochran is definitely Hall of Fame worthy.
Well, this time he's going to go down. He stepped right up into the rush, and Hunter Norwood has his sack tonight.
That's the second time in 3 plays they've called that same exact play. They brought the weak linebacker on a blitz. The first time, Florida's able to capitalize on it with a deep pass to the skinny post. This time, he's sacked. Went to the well once too often.
Yeah, that time they changed up the look and put Norwood up against James Hulmeister, who is the center for the Storm. And that sack put them out of field goal range, and another punt from Agrippa trying to pin the Kings deep. Bounces inside the 10, and that's going to roll into the end zone. Just barely miscalculated from Agrippa. We thank you for your kind words in the chat, Bill Bordemus. And also, Firedog asks, are there many rookie QBs in the league, or is that where most veterans stay? Most veterans stay at quarterback a long time. There is only one rookie quarterback this season. That's the St. Louis #1 overall draft pick. With a weird drop back from Christensen, he does find Willis, and he picks up 4. But yeah, most quarterbacks in this league are veterans. I'm thinking of names like Joe Dazzo, I'm now blanking on his name, Matt Wilson. Throw to the near side. Willis again with some room to run. He'll a first down. And Eddie, they've been really hitting Jared Willis hard on this drive, and it's picked him up yards so far.
Yeah, they have. Perhaps, this game is all about adjustments here. In the second half, they stuck to the short passing game here pretty much, and it's paid dividends for them. They haven't really scored out of it, but what they have done is found a way to keep Ron Cochran on the sideline a bit more than he typically likes to.
1st and 10 after the first down pickup. It's going to be Willis again, 3rd time in a row. This time he only gets back to the line of scrimmage as he is tackled by Warner. The name who escaped me earlier is Johnny Pickler. He's the 1st overall pick, rookie quarterback of the St. Louis Gladiators.
He'll be on display tomorrow night.
He will indeed. Another handoff to Willis, and he gets back to the line of scrimmage and no more. And now maybe they've gone to Jared a bit too much on this drive. He's starting to tire out. Defense starting to key in on him.
Time is becoming a factor here with just under 5 minutes. 3rd and 10. Keep it simple, Christian.
Well, Willis not even on the field now as we got 4 wide receivers plus tight end Jack Wall. It's all in the arm of Christensen. He pump fakes, fires. Oh, he caught it in the middle of 4 blue jerseys. How in the world did Hunter Jones hang on to that?
How did he even get it to him in the first place? I don't know how he caught that pass. Once again, tight man-to-man coverage. And wow, at 49, looks like he just got his head around just a bit too late there. Wow, I thought that was going to be at least batted down, but he found a way to fit it in there. IB Lurkin just missed tipping that ball away.
Christensen threw that ball into a window the size of a bread box that was on the top of a car going down the highway. That was insane amount of precision from Christensen, and he's going to throw long again, and he's done it again! In between two defenders, Gossett was in a storm sandwich, and somehow he makes the catch into Florida territory to the 29.
I think Christensen is starting to feel himself a little bit here. Hopefully he doesn't get too cocky. They got a nice little drive going, and they can at least get 3 points out of this and make this a one-score game here with the extra point being forced on to go for 2 for Florida if they can find a way to convert here.
Remember, Christensen threw 2 interceptions in the first half. Both of those passes looked like that throwing into tight coverage, but man, he's been threading the needle here on this drive, and he's set up Jacksonville for a chance to extend their lead here with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go in the game. Here is Willis bouncing it outside. He's going down the field to the 10-yard line, down to the 9. Nobody stopped him. It was Frank Champion who had to bring him down after a gain of 19.
No, it's kind of amazing. He got great blocking, but it looked like he was running with a piano on his back. It seemed like he was just never going to get to the outside. But he got good blocking, got out just inside the 10 here. And Jacksonville can actually possibly seal this win. They can find a way to punch it in and get 7 here.
I'm not sure what the Florida defense was expecting there, but the Arillis run was not it. First and goal from the 9. To the near side, caught and tapping the toes out at the 4 is Grayson Willis. And I think if Florida, with how their offense has performed tonight, has any chance of coming back in this ballgame, they've got to hold into a field goal.
They've got to hold him to 3. And the only thing bad about this play is you like to see him stay in bounds. Keep that clock moving.
And the throw is just a bit over the head of Willis, of the Grayson variety, not Jared Willis. He's in the backfield now alongside Christensen, who's in the gun. 2 receivers to aim at. He's going to have time. He's going to throw to the back. Wide open, and Gossett. Oh, he escaped the coverage and scores a touchdown for the Jacksonville Kings.
I did not think he's going to be able to keep his feet in bounds there. I thought the receiver was going to lead him out. He threw a fade there from the slot, which is hard to defend. The slot doesn't know if he's going left or right. He has no safety help over the top, and he doesn't know which way the receiver's going to go. He kept his feet in bounds, and all of a sudden we got a 2-score lead here for Jacksonville, and this crowd is going crazy.
I am guessing that play is going to be shown a lot in film room this week. Max Paul must be fuming on the sideline. How does one of the top receivers in the league get 7 yards of separation from anybody in the end zone? Extra point good, and Jacksonville has blown this one open. They lead by 12, 24-12 with 3 minutes to go in the game. We'll be right back after this. This is the SFL on 11 Sports.